Welcome back, AFA, to the Big Read 2025. Today is Sunday, May the 4th. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. So, but you thought it, didn't you? May the 4th, and according to our reading chart, we are reading 1 Chronicles chapter 26 through chapter 28 today. I will say happy birthday, happy 30th birthday to my daughter-in-law, Sarah. Her birthday is May the 4th. So happy birthday, Sarah. All right, we're going to read the next account. Remember, what we're reading now is right at the end of David's life. Before he dies, he's preparing everything for his son, Solomon, because King Solomon is going to take over and he's going to get to build the temple for the Lord. And so David right now is just finishing these last few things out in his old age as Solomon is going to reign after him. Grab that notebook and take some more notes as we read today. Are you there? Ready to go? All right, let's read. 1 Chronicles chapter 26, starting in verse 1. For the divisions of the gatekeepers there were of the Korites, Meshelemiah, the son of Korah, of the sons of Asaph. Meshelemiah had sons, Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jathniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Johanan the sixth, Elihoniah the seventh. Obed-Edom had sons, Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sakar the fourth, Nathaniel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, and Peluthai the eighth. God had indeed blessed him. Also to his son Shemaiah sons were born, who ruled over the house of their father, for they were mighty men of valor. The sons of Shemaiah were Othni, Raphael, Obed, and Elizabeth, whose brothers Elihu and Shemaiah were valiant men. All these were the sons of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and their relatives were able men with strength for the service. From Obed-Edom, Meshelemiah had sons and relatives, valiant men. Also, Hosa, one of the sons of Merari, had sons. Shimri the first, although he was not the firstborn, his father made him first. Hilkiah the second, Tabaliah the third, Zechariah the fourth. All the sons and relatives of Hosha were 13. To these divisions of the gatekeepers, the chief men, were given duties like their relatives to minister in the house of the Lord. They cast lots, the small and the great alike, according to their fathers' households, for every gate. The lot to the east fell to Shelmiah. Then they cast lots for his son, Zechariah, a counselor with insight, and his lot came out to the north. For Obed-Edom it fell to the south, and to his sons went the storehouse. For Shippim and Hosa it was to the west, by the gate of Shalaketh, on the ascending highway. Guard corresponded to guard. On the east there were 6 Levites, on the north 4 daily, on the south 4 daily, and at the storehouse 2 by 2. At the parbar on the west there were 4 at the highway and 2 at the parbar. These were the divisions of the gatekeepers of the sons of Korah and the sons of Merari. Verse 20. The Levites, their relatives, had charge of the treasures of the house of God and of the treasures of the dedicated gifts. The sons of Laden, the sons of the Gershonites belonging to Laden, namely the Jehelites, were the heads of the fathers' households belonging to Laden the Gershonite. The sons of Jeheli, Zatham, and Joel, his brother, had charge of the treasures of the house of the Lord. As for the Aramites, the Izharites, the Hebronites, and the Uzzielites, Shebuel, the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was officer over the treasures. His relatives by Eleazar were Rehabiah, his son Jeshiah, his son Joram, his son Zikri, his son, and Shelomoth, his son. This Shelomoth and his relatives had charge of all the treasures of the dedicated gifts which King David and the heads of the fathers' households and the commanders of thousands and hundreds and the commanders of the army had dedicated. They dedicated part of the spoil won in battles to repair the house of the Lord, and all that Samuel the seer had dedicated, and Saul the son of Kish, Abner the son of Ner, and Joab the son of Zeruiah, everyone who had dedicated anything. All of this was in the care of Shelomoth and his relatives. Verse 29. As for Israelites, Shaniah and his sons were assigned to outside duties for Israel as officers and judges. As for the Hebronites, Hashbai and his relatives, 1,700 capable men, had charge of the affairs of Israel west of the Jordan for all the work of the Lord and the service of the king. As for the Hebronites, Jerijah the chief, these Hebronites were investigated according to their genealogies and their fathers' households in the 40th year at David's reign, and men of outstanding capability were found among them at Jazer of Gilead. And his relatives, capable men, were 2,700 in number, heads of fathers' households. And King David made them overseers of the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of the Manassites, according to all the affairs of God and of the king. Chapter 27. Now this is the enumeration of the sons of Israel, the heads of fathers' households, the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and their officers who served the king in all the affairs of the divisions which came in and went out month by month throughout all the months of the year, each division numbering 24,000. Jashabim, the son of Jabdiel, had charge of the first division of the first month, and in his division were 24,000. He was from the sons of Perez, and was chief of all the commanders of the army for the first month. Dodeah, the Ahoahite, and his division had charge of the division for the second month, Mikloth being the chief officer, and in his division were 24,000. The third commander of the army for the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the priest, as chief, and in his division were 24,000. This Benaiah was the mighty man of the 30 and had charge of 30, and over his division was Amazabad, his son. The fourth for the fourth month was Ahashel, the brother of Joab, and Zebadiah his son after him, and in his division were 24,000. The fifth for the fifth month was the commander Shamuth the Israelite, and in his division were 24,000. The sixth for the sixth month was Ira the son of Ikesh the Tekoite, and his division was 24,000. The seventh for the seventh month was Helez the Pelonite of the sons of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The eighth for the eighth month was Sabakai the Hushite of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The ninth for the ninth month was Abiezer the Anathothite of the Benjamites, and in his division were 24,000. The 10th for the 10th month was Maharai the Netaphatite of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The 11th for the 11th month was Benaiah the Pirathonite of the sons of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 12th for the 12th month was Heldiah the Netaphatite of Othniel, and in his division were 24,000. Verse 16. Now in charge of the tribes of Israel, chief officer for the Reubenites was Eleazar the son of Zikri for the Simeonites, Shephatiah the son of Makkah for Levi, Hashabiah the son of Kemuel for Aaron, Zadok for Judah, Elihu, one of David's brothers, for Issachar, Omri the sons of Michael for Zebulun, Ishmaiah the son of Obadiah for Naphtali, Jeremoth the son of Azriel for the sons of Ephraim, Hosea the son of Azariah for the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joel the son of Pedaiah for the half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Iddo the son of Zechariah for Benjamin, Jashiel the son of Abner for Dan, Azarel the son of Jeroham. These were the princes of the tribes of Israel. But David did not count those 20 years of age and under, because the Lord had said he would multiply Israel as the stars of heaven. Joab the son of Zeruiah had begun to count them, but did not finish because of this. And because of this, wrath came upon Israel, and the number was not included in the account of the Chronicles of King David. And we read that portion where Joab said, David, are you sure you want me to count? But David told him, yeah, go count, until the Lord showed David his sin, if you remember that part that we read earlier. Okay, verse 25. Now Azamav, the son of Adiel, had charge of the king's storehouses, and Jonathan, the son of Uzziah, had charge of the storehouses in the country, in the cities, in the villages, and in the towers. Ezri, the son of Chelub, had charge of the agricultural workers who tilled the soil. Shimei, the Ramathite, had charge of the vineyards, and Zabdi, the Shipmite, had charge of the produce of the vineyards stored in the wine cellars. Belhanan, the Gederite, had charge of the olive and sycamore trees in the Shephael, and Joash had charge of the stores of oil. Shithratai and the Sharonite had charge of the cattle which were grazing in Sharon, and Shaphat, the son of Adiah, had charge of the cattle in the valleys. Obil, the Ishmaelite, had charge of the camels, and Jediah, the Meronothite, had charge of the donkeys. Jaziz, the Hagrite, had charge of the flocks. All these were overseers of the property which belonged to King David. Also, Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, a man of understanding, and a scribe, and Jethiel, the son of Hachmoni, tutored the king's sons. Ahithophel was counselor to the king, and Hushai the Archite was the king's friend. Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah, and Abithar succeeded Ahithophel, and Joab was the commander of the king's army. Chapter 28. Now David assembled at Jerusalem all the officials of Israel, the princes of the tribes, and the commanders of the divisions that served the king, and the commanders of thousands, and the commanders of hundreds, and the overseers of all the property and livestock belonging to the king and his sons, with the officials and the mighty men, even all the valiant men. Then King David rose to his feet and said, "Listen to me, my brethren and my people. I had intended to build a permanent home for the ark of the covenant of the Lord and for the footstool of our God. So I had made preparations to build it. But God said to me, 'You shall not build a house for my name, because you are a man of war and have shed blood.' Yet the Lord, the God of Israel, chose me from all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he has chosen Judah to be a leader, and in the house of Judah my father's house. And among the sons of my father he took pleasure in me to make me king over all Israel. Of all my sons, for the Lord has given me many sons, he has chosen my son Solomon to sit on the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. He said to me, 'Your son Solomon is the one who shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be a son to me, and I will be a father to him. I will establish his kingdom forever if he resolutely performs my commandments and my ordinances, as is done now.' So now in the sight of all Israel, the assembly of the Lord, and in the hearing of our God, observe and seek after all the commandments of the Lord your God, so that you may possess the good land and bequeath it to your sons after you forever. As for you, my son Solomon, know the God of your father and serve him with a whole heart and a willing mind. For the Lord searches all hearts and understands every intent of the thoughts. If you seek him, he will let you find him. But if you forsake him, he will reject you forever. Consider now, for the Lord has chosen you to build a house for the sanctuary. Be courageous and act. Then David gave to his son Solomon the plan of the porch of the temple, its buildings, its storehouses, its upper rooms, its inner rooms, and the room for the mercy seat, and the plan of all that he had in mind for the courts of the house of the Lord, and all the surrounding rooms, for the storehouses, the divisions of the priests and the Levites, and for all the work of the service of the house of the Lord, and for all the utensils of the service in the house of the Lord. For the golden utensils, the weight of gold for all utensils for every kind of service. For the silver utensils, the weight of silver for all utensils for every kind of service. And the weight of gold for the golden lampstands and their golden lamps, with the weight of each lampstand and its lamps. And the weight of silver for the silver lampstands, with the weight of each lampstand and its lamps according to the use of each lampstand. And the gold by weight for the tables of showbread for each table, and silver for the silver tables, and the forks, the basins, and the pitchers of pure gold, and for the golden bowls with the weight for each bowl, and for the silver bowls with the weight for each bowl, and for the altars of incense, refined gold by weight, and gold for the model of the chariot, even the cherubim that spread out their wings and covered the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All this, said David, the Lord made me understand in writing by his hand upon me all the details of this pattern. Then David said to his son Solomon, be strong and courageous, and act. Do not fear nor be dismayed, for the Lord God, my God, is with you. He will not fail you nor forsake you until all the work of the service for the service of the house of the Lord is finished. Now behold, there are the divisions of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of God, and every willing man of any skill will be with you in all the work of all kinds of service. The officials also and all of the people will be entirely at your command. And that is our reading for today. And what you see here is that King David is setting Solomon up for the task, the great task of building this permanent house for the Lord. And all of those chapters that we read prior to this final chapter was literally David setting all of the Levites in order, the house of Levites, for all of the different jobs that they would need to do for the service of the Lord. And we saw earlier in our reading that David's already gathered all of the raw materials. Solomon, he has now given Solomon all the plans. Here's the plans. He's gone through them with Solomon. Solomon has a big job ahead of him, but David had told him twice one very important charge. He simply said, be strong and courageous and act. He wants Solomon to take action, to do what God has given him to do. What a powerful story. And as we read the story of King Solomon, we're going to see the action that Solomon actually takes. So join me here tomorrow and we'll continue the story. God bless you.